Hi, it's Jason Brown of Public City PR and the PRConsultants group. We're at the SUBTA Recur conference that's teaching folks about all the facets of the subscription box industry. And today I am here with Joel Beckett of the Outloud group. And he just did a presentation about influencer marketing, and I thought it'd be a good time to sit down for a few minutes and talk with Joel about influencer marketing. So thanks, Joel, for being with me.
Absolutely, Jason.
I appreciate it. Tell me a little bit about the Outloud group.
Yeah, we're an influencer agency. We're in Detroit. We're roughly 30 people. We're the agency for Grubhub and Simply Safe and Wix and about 30 other clients. We've been in the space for 10 years. We're platform agnostic, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Mixer, podcast. We kind of cover the entire space. And we believe in influencer because it works, and we think it's necessary for brands to have an influencer presence, especially as we see cord cutters and ad blockers limiting access to audiences that used to be pretty easy to get to.
Cool. And tell me how you define an influencer.
So, good question. We define an influencer. We draw a very sharp distinction between influencer and celebrity. A celebrity is somebody who's famous for some other reason. An influencer is someone who's built their own audience because of their social media presence, and typically those are the ones that we want to tap into.
Cool. And so with a public relations company like myself, want to start getting into influencer marketing, how do you convince your client to sort of get their toe wet in the water to start working with influencers?
Sure. So we test small. The way that we work with clients is we really lay out, like, one, you need a different measurement model for it because there isn't any marketing channel that you currently have where this is going to neatly fit into. And so we work with them to build what their measurement model is going to be. And then we'll test small. We'll understand who their target demo is. We'll understand, any data that they can give us from their own consumer insights. Why does somebody purchase? When does somebody purchase? What are the needs? Often companies that have maybe a perceived vulnerability that influencers, because they're an outside credibility, are uniquely well positioned to speak to. And so we'll really understand the needs of the campaign, and then we put together a small media plan, and they can begin to test and then scale from there.
That's really cool. And you had said in your presentation that influencers can be a time suck. Can you speak a little bit about that?
They are. And it just compared to what most companies expect in terms of, like, I've got this dollar amount to spend, this is how much time and effort and energy and manpower and bandwidth it should take. Influencer blows that up. It's more difficult to spend $100,000 in an influencer than it is $1 million in TV. And the reason for that is you got to get it right. One, you want it to be authentic. Two, you're really looking at for advocacy there. So what takes an enormous amount of time is, one, you've got these people who have their essentially own little independent media companies. A lot of them aren't professionals. They don't necessarily have business background. So there's a lot of herding of cats that happens. For us, there's a lot of vetting of different creators to see which one's going to be the right fit. Ideally, which one authentically already uses the product, can speak to it. We want to really identify which influencers are just going to do this for the money and which ones because they're legitimately enthused about the product. And then in terms of making the trains run on time, delivering product, nailing down their dates, we preview everything, the brand previews everything. And so there are a lot of steps to get one influencer up and running, and you multiply that by 40 or 50 different influencers every single month. Yeah, there's a lot of work, and a company needs to be aware of the fact that this is going to require a certain bandwidth. Obviously, an agency is going to mitigate a lot of that, but not all.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me today. And how can one find you if they want to talk to the Outloud group?
Yeah, outloudgroup.com. We're on LinkedIn, we're on social, and then obviously our website is just outloudgroup.com.
Well, thank you so much, and hope you found that interesting, and thanks for joining us.